Thank you all for jumping on today. Today we have Jordan instead of Craig, who will be joining us. Craig is in some other state, probably having fun right now.
I'll
Yeah,
take his place. I'll take his
Jordan's gonna
place.
be taking his place. Today we're gonna be taking kind of a deep dive into social media, the importance of social media, different platforms that you should be using, how to come up with that content, and of course, the hardest part, how do you actually film it and how do you stay consistent with it? We always see people come in and they have all these ideas on what they want to post, how they want to post it, but really building out that action plan is really hard to do, and obviously staying consistent with it. So, Jordan is here. I will let him kind of introduce who he is, how long he's been kind of working with us, and what his role is, and then we'll kind of take a deep dive into a quick presentation and give you guys some cool strategies and tips.
Yeah, so how's it going, everyone? My name's Jordan Harris. I'm more specifically the social media manager for Kobe's Hat Trick team, but I've been working with Link on some of the strategy. I've been doing social media since 2016 and have gained over 400,000 followers across various platforms, and just every day trying to critique and tweak some of the things that I'm doing for my personal brands as well as Link and Hat Trick. So
And he's
happy to be here.
being pretty modest. We brought him in and he's been doing kind of everything. It's not just like social media management. It's helping us with from funnels to building a consistent brand to what are we actually supposed to be posting, coming up with ideas. He's not just filming something, cutting it up and posting it. So you do a pretty
Yeah.
good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, trying
Uh,
to.
And yeah, so we wanted to bring him in today and have him kind of run through what he originally pitched us on and kind of how he framed the conversation around myself and Andrew and Craig and what we should be looking out for. And so I thought if we could bring that to all of you guys, have this really be a first step. And so that for anybody who's out there and wants to get more involved on social media, wants to post more, wants to go at it and build their online presence and their online brand and have no idea where to start, treat this as like step A. And
Hmm.
you really just need to have a basic understanding of the different platforms, giving you guys some ideas. And then if you want to take a deeper dive into it, we'll include probably a Calendly link or our contact information below. I'm happy to jump on like quick one-on-one calls with you guys and go a little bit of a deeper dive into like how to actually edit the videos, how we use CapCut to turn a 30-minute or hour long podcast or a training like this
Yep.
into social media clips. So we'll take this Tuesday training we're going to do and post it 5 or 6 times across different platforms. So once you learn some of these different strategies, it's really easy to get consistent content. Um, One of the hardest things that once I see around the consistency side is people don't know what to post and how to post
Mm.
it. So we'll take a deep dive into that. And when you look at a month, you have 30 days in it and you say, I don't have 30 ideas, so how can I post something for 30 days in a row? We'll take that kind of in a deep dive as well. So we'll go ahead and share this and yeah.
Yeah, so like Kobe said, we're going to do a very rudimentary overlook or overview of social media. Whether you're in it or not, I think it's super important for your business aspect to get on social media and have some sort of presence, whether you are getting deals through it or not. I think it's important that people are able to find you online. Just that's kind of the day and age that we're in now. So think of social media as more of a business tool and not something that you just go on and post photos. And of course, you can have your own personal brand and whatnot, but for the business side, really try to look at it as just another tool like you would a CRM or something along those lines. As Kobe also said, consistency is the most important, but also the most challenging part of social media. So rather than looking at it, trying to post, the most pretty thing or most aesthetically pleasing, just try to be more consistent than anything, but also still adding value to those posts. Some of the key points to hit is to position yourself as an expert in the market. So down here in Canyon Lake, Craig has been doing a really good job at that. He knows this area like the back of his hand, so he definitely should lean in on that and make that his social media. And then just sharing your stories, your wins, any client testimonials. That way, if a potential client wants to find you online, they're looking at the best of you, and then of course being consistent. So.
Yeah, one thing I want to kind of take a deeper dive into is the treating social media like a business tool. With where we're at with the internet and with social media and online presence, when as a real estate agent, if you're putting yourself out there and you're going and sitting open house, or if you're running lead gen and you're running ads from your account, somebody's going to look you up one way or another. They're going to go on Google to try to find you. They're going to go on Instagram to try to find you, on Facebook to try to find you, on YouTube to try to find you. The
Mhm.
more platforms you have that have the same kind of consistent brand, the same
Mhm.
messaging, the same, I guess, voice, the better off you're going to be. If you are trying to portray this luxury brand and that you only deal with high-end luxury properties and they go to your Instagram and it's all you fishing, I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not going to make
It's
that
not on
connection to
brand.
you being this luxury real estate agent.
Yeah.
So, like you said, using it as a tool, it should really just be an extension of your brand, an extension of your voice. And I think that goes obviously beyond what does the logo look like and what does the colors look like. And I'm sure you're going to take a deep dive into all that in a
No,
little bit.
yeah, no, I actually agree with that as well. This is more specifically focusing on the social media, but the branding behind it is just as important
Mhm.
in keeping a consistent brand voice in the tone, and what you're providing to your clients and your viewers should be on brand with who you are as a person. So trying to solidify that in the beginning is not only going to make people trust you through the content more, but it's also going to be easier for you because you can kind of stick to one type of tone or type of vibe. So, yeah, that's really important is to have your branding on point and then follow that through with your social media. So let's go ahead and jump into kind of the meat and potatoes of it. The platforms, we really like to focus on 6 major platforms, and there's Pinterest and Twitter and other kinds of social
X,
media. X, oh, it's
now.
X now. Forgot who bought it, but yeah, it's Instagram, Facebook, so Meta in general. Those kind of go hand in hand. And then YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and then your business, Google business profile. So those 6 we like to tell our agents to at least get signed up on. If you're just starting out in social media, I would recommend picking 1 to 3, on average 2 platforms to
Mhm.
really focus in on, and make sure that you're getting those dialed in before you move on, because it's really easy to get burnt out.
Mhm.
A lot of the content that you do make, if it's short form video content, can be used across pretty much all of these platforms. Everyone, to a certain degree, has a short form
Mhm.
version of video content that you can post, but really sticking to maybe 2 platforms, learning the algorithm and what works best on those platforms, and then kind of expanding from there.
Yeah. We made the mistake very early on of just trying to like tackle everything at once. And quickly realized that what works great on Instagram and YouTube Shorts absolutely just bombed on LinkedIn. So obviously, like,
Yeah.
and then looking back on it, it's pretty obvious to know that, but somebody's not going to LinkedIn to see a funny skit of me at an open house. Those did not perform very well. And to the flip side, somebody's not going to TikTok or on their Instagram Reels to probably see me sit down and have a very, very serious conversation for 20 to 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So really tailoring the types of content, like he said, and starting with those 1 or 2 platforms. Um, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, anything you post on Instagram Reels can go on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And
Yeah.
so if you were to sit down with a newer agent, and I guess based on their goals and what they want to do, would you recommend like Instagram and TikTok, knowing that it's going to also go to YouTube and Facebook and like kind of those top 4 all go together in a sense?
They do. So for my personal brands, specifically Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, I post pretty much the same content or same piece of content on all 3 of them. It goes back to your brand voice of knowing if you're, a luxury agent, or if you're a new home buyer agent, you're looking for kind of a younger demographic, you might want to be on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok, I think, is more just to get your face out there and funnel people to your more serious pages, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily think someone's going to buy a home
No.
from seeing an agent on TikTok. But if you have people funnel into your more serious accounts like Facebook or Instagram, you might get more massive followers that way. But I think Instagram, Facebook, and then probably YouTube Shorts is going to be your most important short form
Mhm.
video content. And then being on LinkedIn as like that professional
Mhm.
setting is the way I would go.
And we're going to talk a little bit about scheduling out your posts. And we use a platform called OneUp that actually goes in and schedules it. And even if we have a focus on YouTube Shorts and Instagram, that doesn't mean we're not posting on these other ones. Like if we already have that clip and it's already done, we'll show you what OneUp is in a little bit. It's as hard as clicking another button, and then it'll schedule it out to that. So you guys don't have to go in every single day and come up with captions and come up with what you're going to post on the spot. We will sometimes plan 2, 3, 4 weeks out in advance and have everything scheduled for the entire month or 2 weeks at a time. So once you kind of get it down, it's more of like a routine, and every week or two you can go in and schedule out all your posts. And then so even if you're just focusing on these one or two, doesn't mean you can't not post on the other ones.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into the content ideas, we have it down here as categories, but content pillars are kind of the main buckets, if you will, of the type of content you're going to post. So whether it's educational, client testimonials, property tours, whatever those buckets are, try to have as many as you can. In a sense, you don't want to go outside of your niche of your brand, but if you can have 3 to 5 different buckets of categories that you're going to make content in, within those buckets, you can have 7 to 20 different ideas per bucket. And you're going to have a batch of content that's going to let you post for like the next month or two. And then just keep that revolving door of making content and having a queue of content that you can kind of pick from and post as it's relevant to, what's going on in your daily agent life. We usually stick, to like educational content as one of the main buckets, because as a brokerage, we're trying to educate and coach some of the agents. But then if we get any listings, we'll try to make content around that listing at that time because it's relevant, as well as just personal stories and success stories to show more of a personal side of each of our agents.
Yeah. Were you done with that
Yeah.
thought? Okay.
Yeah.
So going into the different categories, just to give you guys kind of a real world example of how we are currently using this, we will sit down and obviously use our best friend ChatGPT to help come up with concepts and actual questions, and how he was saying, break it up in different categories. So if I'm looking at my social media for the next 2 months and I want to post about Link, I want to post about local San Diego different areas and restaurants. I want to talk about some mortgage rates, and I want to talk about growing a real estate team. I will prompt ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, I want 80 to 100 questions for you to ask me, break them up into these 4 or 5 different categories, and give me 3 variations of every type of question. What Jordan and I will do then is we'll film a third of them sitting right here in this office with a more professional background. The more professional sounding questions are going to be a little bit more serious tone. They might be 45 seconds to a minute long. And I'm going to go through each bucket of content. I'm going to do some about Link sitting here in this chair. I'm going to do some about San Diego sitting right here in this chair, about growing a team sitting right here in this chair. That might be 30 clips. Later that day, we're going to go walk a golf course and talk about those same 3 buckets in different questions, with a little bit more of like a light tone around them. They're probably not going to be as serious of a question. And then on the drive home from Canyon Lake back down to Carlsbad, we're going to ask another 30 questions, 10 around each bucket, or 40 questions, 10 around each bucket. By the time we leave here, we will sometimes have 100 clips.
3 months worth of content.
And yeah. And so once you start kind of structuring it that way, you could do a quarter's worth of posting done in one day. And now I'm not saying only do these FAQ type videos, but really trying to utilize things like that as, I guess, your base and your consistency. It allows you to like sprinkle other things in on top. And maybe we're going to go do a more detailed long form video that we want to post. But we already know that we have 5 posts going out that week around the exact content, around the exact voice I want to portray. And it's also being spruced up a little bit. It's not just all me sitting here
same
talking head
thing,
by just changing the setting. And you could say the same thing 3 or 4 different ways in 3 or 4 different backgrounds. And guess what? If you post it 3 or 4 months apart, people aren't going to remember it. You're going to constantly be getting in front of new people. So we will include something like that in the notes after we push this video out. Maybe I will send you guys like a link to one of our ChatGPT conversations and or a list of 100 questions you can go ask yourself. Other thing with the content ideas and how to actually film it, it doesn't need to be super high quality. Most of the time, Jordan's filming on his iPhone. So if you can get a mic, how much are those mics on Amazon? $50?
Yeah, you can get
$40.
You can get some cheap. The technology is really good now. You can get a cheap mic that sounds really good.
So this doesn't need to be some crazy hard, expensive full setup where you need lights and nice cameras and mics. And if you guys wanted to start today, we could send you this ChatGPT list of 100 questions, and you could have a friend, a family member, and or
Mhm.
yourself go walk around 3 different settings, and you could post every single day for the next 3 months.
Yes.
It's that easy nowadays. Sorry, went on a tangent
No,
on
I
doing
agree.
this.
The ChatGPT is a great point because, as I don't know if it's bad to say, but yeah, I mean that's such a daily tool that I
Yeah,
use to come up with ideas and strategy. And sometimes it's nice to just have like a second brain, if you
yeah,
will, to help you out with ideas. So obviously we'll go off the cuff and talk about different things, or we have ideas that you don't obviously need AI to
yeah.
help you with. But yeah, ChatGPT is super important to help get ideas. Kind of going back to the platforms and being consistent and starting off with 2 platforms. I think posting once a day or even 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, is a great place to start. It
Mhm.
might sound intense to get an idea a day,
Yeah.
but using AI is really not that hard. And then coming up with these different content pillars, you're able to get ideas pretty quick. So, posting once a day to start, and then we're trying to up it to like 3 or 4 times a day at this point. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that.
Sweet.
So yeah, going back to engagement and just trying to be involved on social media. I think a very important part of posting is also doing community management so that you're replying to all comments, even though you might not get a buyer or seller through a TikTok. You never know. So make sure you go through all your comments in DMs to respond to everyone. This also helps boost your post. TikTok's algorithm, if you post a video out there and you get 1 or 2 comments in the first like minute, they put it into a different category, which is going to push it to more people. So if you're replying to 1 or 2 comments, turning it into 4 comments, it's just going to push it to more people. So really engaging on your content is going to help grow those views. Also using things like your stories for polls and questions, that's going to create a lot of engagement and make you feel, or make your viewers feel like you're really
Mhm.
not just putting content out there, but you're also using it as a tool to connect with your community. And then encouraging followers to tag their friends. Again, you might not get a buyer or seller, but if you do, sometimes they'll push it to a friend. They're like, hey, look at this agent that's in your area. They have a really cool personality, or they're really knowledgeable about the area. So you never know.
I think one thing to talk about on the engagement as well, if your social media page is set up the way you want it and you have the brand that you want to have, and you're out engaging with other people as well, you don't just need to reply to when somebody comments on yours. You can go to your sphere of influence, to friends of friends, to Facebook groups in different areas. When you're engaging with other people, they're naturally going to say, "Oh, who the hell's Kobe?" And or, "Oh, I haven't heard from Kobe in a long time. Let me see what he's up to." That's like just in my opinion the standard next step. If somebody comments on my picture, I'm like, "Oh, I haven't talked to that person in a while. I want to see what they're up to." If once they click on your profile and they see all you're talking about is real estate and how you're crushing it,
Hmm.
whether you're crushing it or not is a different story.
Yeah.
But you're putting on
Yeah.
that brand. Um, it's just going to spark that interest. And if they are at the point where they're looking to buy or sell a house, likely are going to talk to you.
Yeah.
We've seen this last year. I think we sold 4 or 5 houses from Instagram, and solely from being on Facebook, being on Instagram, reposting, posting new listings, posting that we're out at open houses, consistently posting. We had one of them was a friend from high school's parent who was selling their grandparents' house. And they said, "Oh, like I didn't realize you were active in X area. Like, do you want to try to list our house?" And
Mm-hmm.
we went, and that just opened the conversation. But if we weren't posting every single day and posting on our stories, they wouldn't have seen that we were even active in this sub area of LA, and probably wouldn't have gotten that listing. So
Yeah.
um, just by responding to DMs, responding to comments, asking questions, following up with people, it really does work. We wouldn't be preaching this if we didn't do it ourselves and or have sold houses from it. So
Yep. Um, I think we could have made this probably a whole separate page because it's also extremely important is capturing your leads through social media. We use Hoobie. There's also Linktree and a bunch of other link organizing websites or platforms out there. But it's really important to try and funnel not only people through your social media platforms, but also to if you have a website or just a messaging landing page so that they can get in contact with you through Facebook Messenger or text or whatever it is. Setting up a Hoobie or a Linktree to be consistent so that people can bounce around from each platform or your website and get in contact with you that way. So like I said, we personally use Hoobie. And I think that's a really important thing that people are able to go and check out Lincoln Hattrick's website through that.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, putting the little guides, market reviews, it just makes you look like you're professional in the area.
Mhm.
Agent Sue raised her hand. Hey, Sue.
Hey, can you just what you guys were just talking about, the one that you use, can you either spell it or can you Hoobie, like can you tell me a little more about how Hoobie works and what it does, or should I just go look at myself? Just give me one example.
I will pull mine up right now.
Yeah, I think it'll be once you see it, it's just a collection of the different social media handles or links as well as your website. That's all in one section. So if someone's on your Instagram, they can click on your Hoobie URL and it'll take you to everything that you have linked in there, if that makes sense.
Here.
It does make sense. Is there a competitor to it that maybe I already have? Like, is it Linktree? Is it somebody else that's
Linktree.
similar? Okay, thank you. Now
So-
I understand.
Yeah, so when somebody comes into mine, if they click on my Instagram profile, instead of just taking them to a single website, it'll talk about joining our school community, how we use our 5-step marketing plan to sell homes better. How you could join my team, or you could start your own team with Link. That way, any of my kind of 4 buckets I'm typically going to push somebody to, I could say, click the link in my bio and learn how we could sell your house faster with our 5-step marketing plan. Or if I'm talking to a newer agent, click the link in my bio and you could join our school community. We're going to be doing these live trainings like we are doing right now, anything and everything. So you can add as many different links as you want on this, as many different like YouTube videos. Really, you can send them wherever they want to go.
Yeah, like if you had a property listing and you did a quick home tour on it on TikTok or Instagram, and you're like, if you guys want to schedule a tour with me, you can click the link in my bio, which will be your Hoobie or your Linktree, and it'll direct them to that online property listing or a scheduling like Calendly to schedule a tour with you.
And we use it because Ryan Serhant uses it. And whenever I want a good idea, I look at who's
Ye-
doing it really, really well. And so Ryan Serhant, if you guys don't know who he is, one of the most followed Instagram or real estate agents probably on Instagram. He uses it for all of his stuff. And so I was like, might as well use him. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool. Moving on to consistency. We've touched on this a couple of times, but really just trying to get a video out there a day. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be the most high quality, but it's more important to be posting rather than trying to come up with a great idea for one time a week and then you're ghosted for like the other 6 days. So try to post something each day. Like we were talking about earlier, batching your content. You can spend, we put 1 to 2 hours, but if you're trying to make maybe a month's worth of content, it might take you 4 to 6 hours to really sit down and film everything. If you want to push it off to someone on Fiverr to edit it and pay them $200 to edit 30 pieces of content, that might be efficient and worth your time. But we usually will sit down for a couple hours a week and we're able to get 2-3 weeks worth of content.
I think one of the important things here is tracking performance as well, especially when you're doing large batches of content. It's easy to just keep posting stuff and hope it does well. We're not saying to go post terrible things all day, every day, and just hope that it works. If we go out and we post 100 different videos or 30 different videos, which ones got the most views? Was there a specific hook that really tied people in? Was it when I was talking about local area versus overall market data? And if it is, do I need that market data video? And if I don't need it, kind of get rid of that and focus more in and optimize your different local tours and your local area content. So really spray and pray, I think is
Right.
to start and see what sticks, what doesn't, what is getting engagement, what is getting the views, what's getting the likes. And it's also kind of up to you on what is that KPI you want. Do you just want the views? Probably not. Like, I'd rather get 5 likes and 5 sales from a post than 500,000 likes and no sales from a post. So, making sure that your kind of target audience is the one that's actually engaging with it. And it's not a whole bunch of 13-year-old kids in the East Coast that are on TikTok liking your stuff. So, tracking your performance is really what it all comes down to, because if you're like me, you're not going on to social media to become an influencer. You're trying to get sales from it and or
Totally.
grow a link or whatever it is.
Last thing with consistency, kind of going hand in hand with trying things and seeing if they stick. Give it a little bit of time as well, a month at least, to see what's moving and what's not. If you're brand new on social media too, it's going to take the algorithm a bit to pick up that you're even, what category you're in, what niche you're in, and that you're even posting content consistently. I would try to give it 2 months to see if maybe 5 content pillars or those ideas are sticking. If they're not, then move on, but don't post for a week. And if nothing gets more than like 5 likes, then you're moving on. Like, give it a little bit of time and try to be consistent that way too. And then kind of an action plan. If you're not already on social media, this is just a couple of things that we have for you to do if you're not on socials. So pick those 1 or 2 platforms. We talked about My Google Business a little bit. Kobe's a little bit more knowledgeable on that. But if someone's looking you up online through Google or reviews or anything like that, it's more
Can they see you?
promising that you're going to
Yeah.
be popping up.
You want, when somebody Googles you, if they Google Hattrick Real Estate, you want your business to pop up so they could say, oh, call this person, visit their website. It just adds credibility. If I look up Craig McCoy or Kyle Wynn or whoever it is, and their name pops up, it's like, oh, this person's real and it's legit. It's almost just like confirmation that you are an agent, that you are real, that you are
Yeah.
active. If somebody looked me up on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google, and I'm just nowhere to be found, and they're like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, it's
So,
weird.
yeah, you at least need the platforms there at the very least.
Yeah, going back to the setting up, if you're picking 1 or 2, make sure you set them all up. Even if you're not active on all 6, make sure you're signing up for those accounts. If you do or you don't have your platforms already set up, try and post 2 videos this week. Pick an educational one talking about an FAQ, whether it's buyer, seller, something that you can maybe give to other agents educationally, and then pick a personal post. So you could do, you know, your craziest success story or your craziest client that you've had with a deal. I feel like once you start to film videos, ideas will pop into your head right away where you're like, oh, I could film that too. So the more you do it, the more obviously you're going to get used to it as well, but you'll get more ideas as you're doing it. So it'd be nice to leave here with a couple of ideas and posts. So try to get out there and just sit down with your phone, whether it's on the counter and you just want to film yourself. I think it'd be cool to get a couple of posts out there for you. And then following that, just setting up a simple content calendar for the next week. Pick 2 to 3 content pillars, educational or whatever it is, and try to get a few ideas of each one. And that'll be your 7 days of posting for the next week.
Yeah. One person who actually does, I think, tying in personal life and real estate pretty well is Sue. So thanks for the question earlier, Sue. I love your today in real estate posts. So if she does anything remotely tied into real estate, it might be, she did a post one time about me and Andrew when we were trying to tell her to join Link, and just posted a picture with us and said, today in real estate, these 2 very handsome guys took me out to a coffee. Oh, she raised her hand. So, but asked to unmute.
Yes, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I just wanted to add thing, if you don't care, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
no.
No, absolutely.
It's really important to have your Google presence. And what I mean by that is you can do all these Instagram posts, and definitely I can't tell you, I'll do like, this is my favorite home in the community.
Yeah.
And people will call me up and say, oh, I know somebody. I highly recommend it, doing it that way,
Yeah.
promoting somebody else's property. But when it comes down to like credibility, having your Google presence, just a website that somebody can click on, you can do as much social media as you want. But I do feel that the importance of having a website and a Google
Yes.
presence is imperative. And that's all I really wanted to say.
Yes, 100%. And if you don't have that other half of it, like we said, the lead capture and conversion and how do you get those people, might be next Tuesday's meeting that we could talk about.
Yeah.
So they're going to be just equally as important. Your views and your likes don't mean anything unless you can convert them actually.
I do agree that the other part of the digital presence is having that website built out, and somewhere ultimately that all of this social media stuff is going to funnel to. So yeah, setting up your Google business profile, but also having a landing page of some sort that is yours for our clients to go to.
Sue, was that one more question or was that hand still from the last one? Okay. We'll jump into Q&A here in a second, but just to kind of give a recap of what we're going to put in with the kind of email that we'll send out with a recap of this meeting. We will send you guys all a ChatGPT script and or our personal version of it. It's probably going to have 100 questions that you could answer on camera, and we could kind of break it down into 4 or 5 categories that you guys can go and film in different settings if you guys want that. Well, we will include a checklist of all of the online accounts that you should have and kind of an idea of the brand and the voice that should be behind it on each, so you guys can make sure you have all of that. And for those who have not seen it yet and or didn't comment their Instagram information, we want to form an Instagram group, and we already started it, where anytime a link agent posts something, they could send their post into this Instagram group so that other people could like, comment, share it. It's just a great way to kind of have the rising tides raise all ships effect. And if all 20, 30, 40 people that are in this group that are all going to be link agents and they're all going to have their own great own brand and their own voice and their own things they're trying to push out. But if they're constantly commenting on each other's, it's really going to just help kickstart pushing that into the algorithm. When somebody else comes across your post, they're going to say, holy shit, this guy has 39 likes and 52 comments on it. And it might just all be other link agents, but the good part is they also won't know that because everybody has such their own personal brand and their own Team Wade Real Estate or Agent Sue or Hattrick Real Estate. So it's not looking like it's just a whole bunch of agents from the same brokerage liking and commenting on each other's stuff. So those will be 3 things that we'll include after this. At the very least as well, if you just need to kind of get your feet wet and you're not ready to start posting yourself and you're not ready to start filming videos, repost what other people are posting. You can go, Link tries to post 4 or 5 times a week. Other agents in our area obviously are going to be posting hopefully every day after watching this. Repost stuff on your stories. There's been times where we have started conversations and closed deals by reposting something that Link posts. Link posted something about the bundle and save deal, and I reposted it on my story, and somebody said, oh, how does this work? It can just start a conversation. So even if you aren't ready to start posting your own content, you don't know the ideas that you want to post, repost other people's stuff onto your stories, gets the conversation going. If you repost somebody else's open house every single weekend, people are going to think that's you. They don't really look that deeply into social media sometimes. And watch what other people are doing, take their content, anything that we post, obviously feel free to take it and do your own version.
Steal the ideas, steal them.
Put your own touch on it.
Yeah.
All right, we have a couple questions in here. Vanessa said there's an app called Captions and it makes your videos sound like you used a mic. I have not seen that one yet, but I'm writing that down.
I'll have to try that too.
Captions. Brenda said 2 questions. What should be the ratio of personal versus business? And then, is a business page necessary? I was told no before, but I still have my Facebook business page that I'm terrible at following through with. I'll take it and then you take it, give your own thoughts on it. Sure. I think the personal versus business, I think you need at least probably a quarter personal. You don't want everything to be just business related all the time. If you look at my Instagram, I'm still terrible at posting business at all. I usually only post when I'm collaborating with Kelsey on something, and I do a terrible job at that. So I would post probably a quarter of it. People still want to see you, know who you are. It shouldn't just all be real estate related. And if you could tie both in together, even better. So some of the stuff I'll post is about me at a property, and you could tie real estate into it with still kind of showcasing your personality. Is a business page necessary? I don't have one. We use the Hattrick team page to post a lot of stuff, so I guess we kind of do have one. If you were going to be promoting kind of your own name and yourself more so, I would not do it personally. You already have however many friends and followers on all of your personal accounts. Might as well just kind of turn those into your business accounts. Unless you were going to really try to push a different team name, brand name, you don't need to start from zero. You're already kind of odds stacked up against you. Might as well get people that are going to be engaging with your content from the start. What are your thoughts?
You said it perfectly. Just, I guess to reiterate, that's exactly what I would say is if you are a solo agent, I would just stick with your personal page. If you were going to promote a team, or I guess that's the only option here. You're not going to promote another brokerage, but yeah, if you're promoting a team, then a business page would probably be the best route. To answer the first question, also, I think tying in business with personal is the way to go. Trying to turn something that might seem daunting for a new agent or maybe boring, but trying to put some spunk into it through your own personality is the best route to go. If you look at like Ryan Serhant, he probably posts 80 to 90% personal, funny, goofy stuff that's going to get a lot of eyes, but he's at a point
Where he doesn't need
where
it.
he doesn't really need to post a lot of business stuff. So maybe there is a turning point at some point where you go more business to personal, but I think you could tie both in at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. Vanessa said, where do you post the link? I'm guessing that's the Hubi link. I just have it in the bio of everything. So in my Instagram bio, I have it there. On Facebook, I have it there. YouTube, I have it there. So I just post the link into the bios. That way, my kind of call to action on all videos is click the link in my bio, and it's super easy and it's kind of a blanket statement. So you don't need to worry about constantly updating that. Any reason you chose Hubi over Linktree, Ryan Serhant?
I
That's it.
personally use Linktree for my personal brands, but then Hubi for Hat-Trick Link stuff. So they kind of go
Doesn't
hand in
matter
hand.
at all. Any of
I
those.
think they're both free as well with like unlimited amount of links you can put in there. But then once you start paying, you can like change colors and themes and stuff like that. But
You don't need that to start. We're on the free plan for everything.
yeah.
What's one mistake you see agents make with their online branding that could hurt their credibility? This is going to be that's a really good question, and I guess client specific. I'm personally not a fan of the agents that are going out there and like mocking agents, if you will, and or like making a joke out of real estate. I think there's a way to like tie comedy into it, without being like over the top. Oh, real estate agents don't really need to do anything. That's why you should use me. Like I've seen people try to like take a very negative approach on real estate agents in general to try to somehow then promote themselves. I think that can obviously hurt your credibility. And I think if you're a brand new agent, there's a way to be honest that you're new without overdoing the fact that you are new. Like if you're a brand new agent or you don't have a lot of sales in an area, you obviously aren't going to go online and say, I'm the number one agent in Canyon Lake, and then somebody looks you up online and sees that you don't have any sales. But really like leaning into Link or leaning into a local agent and or a local team, and saying, hey, look at my team's listing, look at my team's sales, is a way to kind of like position yourself as credible with like the authority to talk about the market and talk about the listings, without having to go out and just say, I'm brand new, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I agree with that. Kind of a different route I'll go on that is I've seen a couple of agents on social media post that they only want to work with one specific client, which I know Craig says you're going to work with who wants to work with you and vice versa. And whatever you put out there is the people that you're going to attract. But I think you can have your own personality and, you know, you can be stern or authoritative or whatever you want to be. But I think it's just kind of a ego thing to see agents post about wanting to own, like why I won't work with this one client.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Maybe that's a personal thing. And again, they're going to attract the people that want to work with them. And maybe their clients are like, yeah, I want to be that 1% that she works with. But to the masses, it's kind of,
Yeah, I agree. I take on any client, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. So depends on how you want it. All right, we got a question. If I wanted help filming content, can I utilize the Link videography team? If so, how do I go about that? Yes, 100%. Depends on obviously where you guys are at. Depends on what it is for, but at the very least, shoot us a text, text crabs. We can schedule a call, and or schedule a day. So one thing that we've really been trying to do, especially in Southern California, is these content days where we have the videography team come out. We'll go shoot at a listing. We have agents that come in. Sam Thomas was there at the last one, crushed it. Newer agent
Killed
with
it.
us, and he came in and probably took 15 minutes and
Yeah,
was
he's
in and out.
a
And
natural.
it was a
Yeah.
natural at it.
Yeah.
So by coming to these content days, not only are you going to get the content done for you, but you'll work with us on like what kind of hooks you should use, what you should be saying, how do you talk to the camera if you're at a property that wants to focus on the exterior versus the interior versus the community, how you could tie in Link, how you could tie in yourself and or your team. And we do all the filming for you. We do all the editing for you. We just will deliver into your inbox, usually 2 to 5 reels that you can go turn around and post. If anybody has a new listing coming up and they want to host a content day at it, let us know. We could schedule that. And yeah, once again, just I guess it was a really long way to say based on the area and based on what you want. The worst case is we'll help you schedule it and plan it and give you a whole bunch of ideas for it. Best case scenario, we'll have an entire videography team there and the editing team and stuff as well. So just reach out. We're here for you guys and want help any way we can. So yeah. All right. We have a question from Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa.
Hi. Okay. So when it comes to social media, I guess what I have found kind of frustrating and I guess is the fact that if you have multiple platforms, between personal and business, I definitely said, okay, screw that. I am not dealing with multiple accounts on multiple platforms. I'm going to stick to the one and then try and balance it out with personal and business posts.
Yeah.
But the question then became, like, the frustrating part is like, okay, in order to automatically share your post from Instagram to Facebook, for example, and well, in order to see the analytics, like, you want to make your Instagram account a business account.
Yeah.
But then if you do that, it won't automatically post to Facebook anymore on your personal page. So I went down that rabbit hole and it took me hours and it was so frustrating because something so simple takes me hours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mhm.
But I realized, oh, you have to create a Facebook business page. So that way, when you post on Instagram, it will automatically go to your Facebook business page. And so I'm saying this so you guys can tell me if there's a simpler way. So post on Instagram, it'll automatically go to Facebook business page. I then have to be logged into Facebook through my personal account, search my business page, and then I can share it onto my personal page on Facebook.
So what we use a third party scheduling platform to prevent that from happening. And so what we do is once again, ours is called OneUp. Maybe I will include a link to that as well. I upload a video into it and I click post on my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, my TikTok, and my LinkedIn. And I write the caption once and I click schedule for tomorrow at 1 p.m. and it posts to all of them.
Wow.
So, and or from your Meta account. So I will include that scheduler. It's called OneUp. So just ONEUP. You could try utilizing one of that. We found that to be the easiest to be able to schedule across, just because we're posting on my personals, hat tricks, links sometime. Before you know it, you have like 15 or 20 accounts that you're trying to post consistent
Yeah.
content to, and it becomes a nightmare. So I would
Yeah.
definitely just use a third party. I think ours is it's $14 a month or $15 a month.
Mhm.
So I would probably try to use something like that.
Yeah, that it would make it a lot more simpler. And also that app that I mentioned, Captions, I recently learned about it.
Okay.
You can also record yourself like reading a script, and through the app, it can make it look like you're looking in the camera, not reading a script. So,
Oh, sweet.
Whoa.
I will
I'm gonna have to
check
try
out
that.
for
That
sure.
sounds really helpful.
Thank you for
Get
that.
check on that.
yeah.
That was messed.
Sweet. Well, yes, I'll include a link to OneUp that we use, but you can also just probably Google third-party social media schedulers. I know there's a ton out there. The one we used was OneUp because it was a little bit cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Any other questions? We will upload the ChatGPT script, the checklist, talk about the Instagram group, add OneUp, and yeah, I guess maybe next week we could have the meeting about how to convert views and comments and captions. What are those next steps? So somebody clicks on that link in your profile. What do they go to? What do they see? Kind of
Mhm.
start taking a deeper dive into the funnels and lead conversion. So we'll probably do that for next week.
Website, yeah.
Talk about website. if any of you guys ever have ideas, if any of you guys ever want to learn about anything on these Tuesday meetings, let us know. We'll plan ahead for it. If you guys ever want to hear from somebody in particular, or you say, I want take a deep dive into like YouTube and or open houses and or whatever it is, we could either have a Tuesday meeting about it, or we could just do some pre-recorded trainings and send it out to you guys. So don't be a stranger on that side of it.
Same thing with editing too.
Yeah.
I think that's a whole nother part of social media. If you guys need help with CapCut, Premiere, Final Cut Pro, any of the video editing stuff or color correcting, if you want it to look a certain way, I'd be more than happy to hop on a call. Because again, I've been doing that since like 2016. So
Reach out to us. We're here for you guys. We want to make your life as easy as possible. Chances are, if you guys have a thought of it, either we have done it and or one of our agents has. Maybe we'll have Kyle Wynn do an entire video on YouTube because
he's good at
he
YouTube.
crushes it on YouTube,
Mhm.
posts all the time on YouTube, gets clients every year from YouTube. And I'm pretty sure he said he films everything with his phone. So
Yep.
he will walk you guys through how to do it. One thing I do love about Link, and I just want to shout out to all of our Link agents, is you guys have always all been so willing to help others. There's never been a time where I've called Kyle and said, oh, a newer agent wants to kind of just jump on a quick call and talk about YouTube. And he's not like, dude, give him my number. I'll help him with whatever I can. So I feel like being part of Link is really about giving back to each other and helping each other out with whatever it is. So utilize us as well as other Link agents as a resource. That's one cool thing I've just kind of seen as we're kind of build out the community. So thanks, Kyle. Thanks to all the other agents like Sue for taking on mentees without really needing to. Yeah,
that was, no,
so
yeah.
all right. Well, thank you guys all for jumping on today. I will see you guys all next Tuesday, and I will send out an email with kind of that group of stuff that I said I was going to send to you guys. So
Sweet.
thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.